Podcast title, Cosmic Radio Show, The Swamp Slobs of Murphysboro. Welcome to Cosmic Radio Show, where we explore the strange, the unexplained, and the downright bizarre. I'm your host, Asher Knight, and today we're diving into one of the weirdest and most unsettling cryptid encounters ever recorded, the Swamp Slobs of Murphysboro, Illinois. This eerie tale comes straight from the pages of Fate magazine, the legendary paranormal and supernatural publication. In 1973, a series of encounters with horrifying shambling creatures terrified the town of Murphysboro. These beings, known as the Swamp Slobs, were described as grotesque humanoid figures that seemed to emerge from the depths of the swamp and then vanish just as mysteriously. Setting the scene, Murphysboro in the 1970s. Before we get into the details of the encounters, let's set the scene. Murphysboro, Illinois is a small town near the Big Muddy River, surrounded by dense forests, swamplands, and a rich history of strange occurrences. This region has long been associated with ghost stories, strange lights in the sky, and even Bigfoot sightings. But in 1973, something even stranger emerged from the murky depths of the swamps, something that didn't fit the usual cryptid profile. The first sighting, a night of terror. Our story begins on a humid summer night in 1973. A local couple, out for a late-night drive near the outskirts of town, spotted something horrific near the edge of the swamp. They described it as a massive, bloated, and deformed humanoid figure covered in matted, mud-caked hair. It walked awkwardly, almost as if it was struggling to move, dragging itself out of the swamp and onto the road. The creature's face was barely visible beneath the thick layers of grime, but its glowing red eyes were unmistakable. As the couple watched in stunned horror, the creature let out a deep, guttural noise, somewhere between a growl and a moan, before disappearing back into the trees. The witnesses sped away, shaken and terrified. More encounters. The town takes notice. In the days that followed, more people came forward with eerie stories. A group of teenagers out exploring near the river claimed they saw two of the creatures moving together through the underbrush. One of them appeared to be injured, limping heavily, while the other seemed to support it. Another report came from a farmer who found huge misshapen footprints in the mud near his property. He also described a horrible rotting stench in the air, something so overpowering that it made him physically ill. As word spread, the local sheriff's department got involved, but despite several night patrols and searches of the swamp, no definitive evidence was found, only a few strange tracks and the lingering odor of something unnatural. What were the Swamp Slobs? Theories and speculation. So what exactly were these Swamp Slobs? Here are some of the leading theories. Mutated cryptids. Some researchers believe these creatures could be a species of Bigfoot adapted to swamp environments. The foul odor, matted hair, and slow shambling movement resemble reports of the infamous skunk ape of Florida. Could the Murphysboro Swamp Slobs be a distant relative of Bigfoot, or something even stranger? Government experiments gone wrong. One of the more sinister theories suggests that these creatures were the result of top-secret genetic experiments. Illinois is home to several military installations and research facilities. Could the Swamp Slobs have been escaped test subjects from a classified experiment? Some locals believe so. Supernatural entities. Others argue that these beings weren't flesh and blood at all. The way they seem to materialize and disappear without a trace, combined with their glowing eyes and horrific stench, has led some to believe they were spirits or interdimensional entities crossing into our reality through the swamps. Connections to other cryptid cases. This isn't the first time Illinois has had strange creature sightings. In fact, Murphysboro is famous for another cryptid encounter, the Murphysboro Mud Monster. In 1973, the same year as the Swamp Slob sightings, a large white hairy humanoid was spotted near the Big Muddy River. The creature was described as nearly 8 feet tall and covered in mud. Could the mud monster and the Swamp Slobs be connected? Some think they were part of the same species, or perhaps different phases of the same creature. Why did the sightings stop? Here's one of the biggest mysteries of all. After 1973, the swamp slob sightings suddenly stopped. There have been occasional reports of strange movements in the swamps over the years, but nothing as dramatic as the original encounters. Did the creatures die out? Did they move deeper into the wilderness? Or was there something even more secretive at play? Perhaps the creatures were captured or even eliminated. Could they still be out there? As we wrap up today's episode, we're left with more questions than answers. Were the swamp slobs simply misidentified animals, a lost species, a supernatural presence, or something even more mind-bending? Whatever they were, the 1973 Fate magazine report remains one of the strangest cryptid encounters ever documented. And if these creatures once roamed the swamps of Murphysboro, who's to say they aren't still out there, lurking just beyond the trees? What do you think? Have you ever had a strange encounter in the wild? Do you believe the swamp slobs were real? Let us know in the comments or reach out to us on social media. And if you ever find yourself near the swamps of Murphysboro at night, keep your eyes open. You never know what might be watching. Thanks for tuning in to Cosmic Radio Show podcast. Until next time, keep questioning everything.